How are you?
Hey, Linda,
Hi, Linda.
good.
How are you?
Thanks for being here.
Good. Oh, lovely to speak to you. Kathleen, I'm going to start with a question with you, really. My question is with you because this is a quite well-known text, but you've opted to do it in a slightly different way. First of all, how did you get to hear about the Decameron, and what made you want to make it into this series?
Sure. Well, I hate to brag, but I was an English literature major.
Oh, here we go.
So that's where it all started. I was familiar with the Decameron, like just the idea of the text, but I had not read it. I'd read the Canterbury Tales because that's more sort of our analogous required reading in the U.S. and probably in the U.K. as well. But during the pandemic, I was looking for a way to sort of talk about what we were going through and read about what we were going through because this isn't the first time that we've had a pandemic. I also have like a long-held fascination with the bubonic plague, and so that's just a personal.
Who isn't?
Who isn't? It's just a personal interest of mine. Some people like Taylor Swift. That's what I like.
Mine is chocolate.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to find, coming across it and reading it, it's not classically shaped like a story that we would tell now. So I really just used it as a jumping off point, and sort of, I liked the sort of deftness of the idea that a bunch of wealthy people use their money to escape a pandemic and it works. So my kind of idea was they do that, but it doesn't work. And chaos ensues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tony, your character is a bit out of his comfort because he's got all these people inside the house where he works, but there is an unfortunate event that happened just before they all arrived, and now he's trying to sort of get himself out of this crisis. Tell us more about your character and what kind of person do you think he is?
Oof. I think Saoirse is incredibly loyal to his master, and he had a plan. It went awry, which is typically the base of every comedy. That's what kind of makes it funny. When you said out of your comfort zone, nothing is more fun than playing a character completely out of his comfort zone. I think on Veep, I was just out of my comfort zone the entire time. So it was almost like anytime, something kind of went awry, or even reading Kathleen's scripts, it was just like, oh, that surprise or that element when things twist, or he's placed in a situation that he's terrified or doesn't know what to do. It's like, oh, that's an opportunity to really find gold and to find something fun, and and then you're dealing with the stakes of the Black Plague. Around the corner. That always makes it kind of crazy.
Kathleen, I don't know if you've heard of it, but your show reminded me very much. In the UK, we've got Horrible Histories. I don't know if you've ever watched that.
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
Oh, you really must. You must
I
catch up on
know.
Horrible Histories. So I that reminded me a lot of that kind of absurdist comedy, very silly, and very there's a lot of sort of modern language being used amongst sort of old language. What kind of shows or TV shows or films were you inspired you to sort of go towards that kind of absurdist tone?
Sure. Certainly I watched and rewatched Blackadder and Monty Python sort of in developing this idea and kind of thinking about tone. Another Brit, Armando Iannucci. Ever heard of him? Armando?
We called him Arm.
Arm Iannucci. His shows and his movies as well, big inspiration. But then as far as sort of dialing in the tone, once I kind of had the script in place and was figuring out exactly how people spoke to each other, certainly The Princess Bride is an inspiration, and Amadeus, The Favorite, sort of there's sort of like bravely singular things. I was trying to copy them so that I would be exactly like them.
I also love that Kathleen told me that her and her writers watched a lot of Survivor during the pandemic, of kind of what comes out when they're faced with such extreme situations. I love that.
Yeah, that's to your point of like the stakes couldn't be higher. It's like that was the way that we sort of set each character, because there are 10 main characters, so you have to have really clean organized sort of motivations and concepts of each person, which hopefully doesn't take away from their depth, but just really sets them on their journeys. And one way that we really thought about it in the writer's room is that they're on Survivor, who's going to last to the longest and last the longest, and how do you, how do you react to the idea of impending death or execution?
Tony, you're no stranger to like big casts of series like this comedy series. I've seen you. I mean, I'm not even gonna say. I mean, I'm a huge fan of you.
That's so nice.
Arrested Development is one of my favorite TV shows of all time, and you quite used to working it with sort of a multicast where not one person is the main character. What was it like working with these guys and sort of like filming on set with them? Was it a long shooting time or?
Yeah, we were in Rome, Italy for 6 months. And when you're kind of on location, all of us were away from our families. And so you're kind of hoping that you that you get along. You're hoping that you connect. And thankfully we did. I mean, I went over to Kathleen and Steven's apartment way too many times.
No, it was great.
And so
we had to like create family while we were there.
We really did. And so like in working with a cast like that, you have that trust that when you throw the ball, they're going to throw it back. And so with comedy and with ensembles, that's so key. And there's not, ego and entitlement and all that kind of stuff just sucks the energy out of a room. And when you don't have that, when you have a very giving environment, it just makes it, chef's kiss. So I'm really thankful for that.
But it's such a credit to the more experienced actors on the cast, like Tony, like Zosia, who have been, and I mean, a lot of them have worked a lot. But also we had actors who are going to be new to a lot of people's eyeballs, and it's such a credit to the experienced folks who were there, who were sort of setting the tone, and everyone was so generous with one another, and it was just a very people would really look up to the folks that have been
And we would just stand in a corner and just be like, back in my day, we didn't do that. Don't do that.
And they all
that's all I did all day.
Responded to that. They thought that was really cool.
Switched into 1348, and I was like, yes, sir.
Slap the wig on.
Another question for you, Tony. Is this your very first sort of period thing that you've done? Because I can't. I was trying to think of all sort of comedy stuff that you've done. Have you ever done something?
Oh yeah. The sad truth is I'm racking my own brain. I did many drunk histories. I don't know if you've heard of that show.
You've been in so many periods.
I've been in so many periods. But I will say I wear this really fantastic wig. We had an incredible team of hair and makeup and designers the artistry was just the top of their game. But I wore this wig, and the Italians would always come up to me and they'd be like, "Oh, that wig is so beautiful, Tony, it's so beautiful." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." And at first, then I started getting insecure. I was like, because they kept on saying, "Oh, it's so beautiful." And I was like, "Guys, this isn't my real hair, and I can't glue this on my head when I leave." And this one guy goes, "Maybe you should." And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna leave now."
Yeah, it really is kind of over the top to the point where it's like,
maybe you should.
This isn't my real hair.
This isn't my real, I literally, mine does not look this good.
Guys, thank you so much
Thank you.
For your time, and congratulations again. I absolutely love this. I love that kind of absurdist.
Thank you. I also love your lavender shirt. It's so pretty.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
Very pretty.
Brand new. I wore it in your honor.
Yay.
Guys.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys.
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey, you guys.
Hey!